Professor Shonku and the shadow Yeti of Kailash. The winter wind screamed across the snow-covered peaks of the Himalayas like a warning from another world. Somewhere beyond the frozen cliffs and endless valleys stood the mysterious Mount Kailash, silent, sacred, and feared. Many travelers vanished there. Some said spirits guarded the mountain. Others whispered about a creature made of darkness itself. But only one man in the world was brave enough to uncover the truth. Professor Trilokeshwar Shonku. The letter from Luigi. It was cold evening in Giridih. Professor Shonku sat inside his laboratory, adjusting metallic chamber of its newest invention. A weapon unlike any other. The Pyro-Ray Gun. Instead of bullets, the gun released concreted streams of liquid fire capable of melting steel within seconds. A dangerous invention, one Shonku hoped never to use. Newton, his cat, slept peacefully near the heater while Prahlad prepared tea. Suddenly, ding! The telegraph machine cracked loudly. Shonku adjusted his spectacles and pulled out the printed message. It was from his old Italian explorer friend, Luigi Bernardi. The message was brief. Shonku come immediately stop. Kailash expedition in danger stop. Shadow creature killing men stop. Only you can help stop. Shonku's eyes narrow. A shadow creature? He immediately unfolded the Himalayan map. 3 British climbers have recently disappeared near Kailash. Tibetan villagers claim night demon dragged people into the snow. Even stranger, no footprints were ever found. Only long black marks across the ice. Newton suddenly hissed at the telegraph machine. The room felt colder. Shonku quietly said, Prahlad, prepare for a journey. We leave for Tibet tomorrow. Journey to the Forbidden Mountain. 3 days later, Shonku and Prahlad arrived in a remote Tibetan settlement near Mount Kailash. The mountain towered in the distance like a giant white pyramid touching the sky. Luigi rushed forward from a tent camp and hugged Shonku tightly. You came! Luigi exclaimed, but the cheerful explorer looked exhausted. Dark circles surrounded his eyes. What happened? Asked Shonku. Luigi lowered his voice. It comes only at night. The wind outside howled. Luigi continued nervously. First, we heard footsteps around the camp, then shadows moving between rocks. Or our shepherds vanished. Next morning, we found him frozen near the glacier. Ballard gulped. Frozen? Luigi nodded slowly. No wounds, no blood, but his face. Luigi whispered, looked terrified. Another explorer entered the tent. Dr. Heinrich Vollmer, a German archaeologist. He looked skeptical. These villagers imagine goats, he scoffed. There must be a rational explanation. Before anyone could respond, a loud scream echoed outside. Everyone rushed out. A porter pointed toward the mountainside far away. Against the moonlit snow, something enormous moved between the rocks. Not walking, gliding. Like a shadow detached from the earth. Its eyes glowed pale blue, then vanished instantly into the darkness. The entire camp fell silent. Even Vollmer looked frightened now, but Shonku tightened his grip on the Pyro-Ray Gun. For the first time in years, he felt uneasy. The ancient warning. Next morning, Shonku visited an old monastery near Kailash. Ancient prayer flags fluttered violently in the icy wind. Inside the monastery lived Lama Seving, an elderly monk with piercing eyes. When Shonku described the creature, the monk became pale. You must leave this mountain, he whispered. Shonku calmly replied. Professor Shonku does not leave mysteries unsolved. The Lama sighed deep. Then he revealed a legend. Centuries ago, monks guarding Kailash discovered a hidden cave beneath the glacier. Inside slept a creature called Nyamdu. Not animal, not human, something older. The monks trapped it using sacred symbols and sealed the cave forever. But seals weakened. Lama Sering said quietly, and greed awakened sleep in darkness. Shonku looked sharply at Luigi. Did your expedition discover any cave? Luigi hesitated. Vollmer answered instead. Yes. The German archaeologists pulled out photographs. They showed strange black markings inside an icy cavern. Ancient symbols and huge claw marks. We found gold statues there, Vollmer admitted. After that, the attacks began. Lama suddenly stood up. You disturbed what should never be disturbed. Outside, the thunder echoed across the mountains. A storm was approaching. Night of terror. That night, snow buried the expedition camp under violent winds. The temperature dropped below -20 degrees. Shonku sat awake. His inside stand studying the cave photographs. Something troubled him. The claw marks were unusual. Too smooth. Almost melted into the ice. Suddenly, Newton growled. Then came footsteps outside. Slow, heavy, crunch, crunch, crunch. Ballard whispered fearfully. Sir, something is outside. The tent fabric suddenly bulged inward. A giant shell-hound appeared. At least 8 feet tall. Shonku grabbed a Pyro-Ray Gun. The creature circled the tent silently. No breathing, no growling. Only darkness moving around them. Then the lantern went out. Complete blackness swallowed the tent. Ballard screamed. 2 glowing blue eyes appeared inches away. The creature tore through the tent wall. It was gigantic, covered in black fur mixed with ice crystals. Its arms were unnaturally long, but its strangest feature, its body constantly shifted like smoke. Half shadow. The Yeti lunged. Shonku fired instantly. Whoosh! A blazing stream of fire exploded from the Pyro-Ray Gun. The creature shivered horribly. Flames engulfed parts of its arm. But instead of burning normally, the fire passed through sections of its body like smoke. The Yeti leaped backward and vanished into the blizzard. Everyone in camp emerged terrified. But Shonku noticed something important. The creature left behind a strange black liquid on the snow. He collected it carefully into a glass vial. Interesting, he murmured. The secret beneath Kailash. The next day, Shonku analyzed the black substance inside his portable laboratory. It was unlike anything he had seen before. Not blood, not oil. The substance reacted violently to heat. Suddenly, realization struck him. This creature is not supernatural, Shonku said. Walmer frowned. Then what is it? Shonku adjusted his spectacles. A biological organism capable of rapid molecular camouflage. Nobody understood. Shonku explained. It bends light around its body, and that is why it appears like a moving shadow. Luigi stared in amazement. But where did it come from? Before Shonku could answer, a distant explosion echoed through the mountains. The glacier cracked violently. Snow cascaded down nearby cliffs. Then they saw it. A hidden entrance beneath the ice had opened. The ancient cave. Walmer's eyes gleamed greedily. The treasure chamber. Ignoring warnings, he rushed towards the cave with two assistants. Shonku shouted after him, "Stop! It's dangerous!" But Walmer disappeared inside. Moments later, a horrifying scream echoed from deep underground. Then silence. Shonku knew they had no choice. The expedition entered the cave, the frozen labyrinth. Inside the cavern, glowing blue crystals illuminated walls of ancient ice. Strange symbols covered the rocks. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Then they found Walmer's assistants, frozen, solid. Their faces twisted in terror, but Walmer himself was missing. Ballard whispered shakily, Sir, let us go back." Suddenly, a voice echoed through darkness. "Help me!" It was Walmer. They followed the sound into a massive underground chamber. At the center stood a black stone altar. Walmer hung, suspended in the air by enormous shadowy arms. The Yeti emerged slowly behind him. This time, Shonku saw the creature clearly. Its eyes burned blue like icy fire. Ancient chains wrapped around parts of its body. The monster had once been imprisoned here. Then Shonku noticed something astonishing. Metal devices were embedded inside the creature's flesh. Ancient technology. Impossible technology. The professor whispered. This creature was engineered. The Yeti roared furiously. The chamber shook violently. Ice cracked overhead. Shonku realized the truth. Centuries ago, an unknown civilization created a beast as a guardian. Not magic. Science far ahead of its time. Now it had awaked again. Battle in the cavern. The Yeti hurled Walmer across the chamber. Then it charged. Shonku fired the Pyro-Ray Gun repeatedly. Streams of fire illuminated the cave. The creature screamed as flames burned parts of its shadow-like skin. But it kept coming. Its massive claws smashed rocks apart. Luigi threw dynamite sticks towards the beast. Boom! The explosion shattered ice pillars. The Yeti staggered. But suddenly, the entire cavern began collapsing. Huge cracks spread across the ceiling. Snow and rocks rained down everywhere. "We must escape!" shouted Luigi. But the creature blocked the exit. Shonku's eyes focused sharply. Then he remembered the black liquid's weakness. Then he hit destabilized its camouflage cells. He adjusted the Pyro-Ray Gun to maximum intensity. Warning lights flashed red. "Professor!" Ballard cried. "The gun may explode!" Shonku stood firm. The Yeti roared and lunged. The Shonku fired. A massive inferno erupted from the weapon like a dragon's breath. The grave glowed white-hot. Flames engulfed the creature completely. For a moment, the shadow camouflage vanished. And beneath it, the Yeti looked horrifying human. A twisted, experimental being. The monster let out one final scream before collapsing into burning ash. But the Pyro-Ray Gun overloaded. Boom! The explosion shattered the chamber floor. Everyone fell toward an icy underground river. Escape from Kailash. Shonku regained consciousness inside freezing water. The cave was collapsing rapidly. Luigi pulled Ballard upward while Newton clung desperately to Shonku's shoulder. They struggled through narrow tunnels as rocks crashed around them. Finally, a beam of moonlight appeared ahead. The group escaped just as the entire glacier collapsed behind them. The hidden cave vanished forever beneath snow and ice. Everyone lay exhausted on the mountainside. Dawn slowly rose over Mount Kailash. For the first time in days, the mountain felt peaceful. Walmer, badly injured, whispered weakly, "We should never have come here." Shonku stared silently at the sunrise. Then he removed a small metallic fragment from his pocket, a piece recovered from the creature's body. Covered in symbols unknown to modern science, even now the mystery remained unfinished. Who created the Shadow Yeti? And why? Far away, deep beneath the frozen mountain, something faintly glowed under the ice, as if another secret still slept below Kailash. Shonku quietly adjusted his spectacles. "I fear," he said softly, "this is not the end of the mystery." The icy wind howled once more across the sacred mountain, and somewhere in the distance, a strange shadow moved silently across the snow.